Hey there, my friend. This is Erin Chase from $5 Dinners, and if we have not met yet, welcome to the channel, welcome to our community, welcome to spending less money on groceries. I have been at this for over 15 years on a mission to help you spend less money on groceries, and one of my favorite ways to do that is what I'm gonna break down for you here today. I love this so much that I even developed an entire web app and a methodology for doing this. It's called the MyFreezEasy Method, and I'm gonna break all of that down for you here today. I want to encourage you to look in the caption, description, wherever down below. This is available for download. It's a free PDF download. I want you to download it. I want you to try this in your own kitchen. I'm gonna show you how to do this here in the next couple of minutes. It's way faster than you think. It's not mushy casseroles. It's not spending 8 hours in the kitchen. I'm gonna break it all down for you here in this video. My very favorite way to save on groceries, tried and true, no matter what the economy looks like, which I know here in the US right now is a little, it's tough to go to the grocery store right now with the prices the way they are. And it doesn't look like they're letting up anytime soon. So we're gonna continue with this freezer cooking strategy. The idea is get meat when it's on sale, turn it into freezer meals. What I don't want you to do is get the package, get it on sale, and put the package and the meat into the freezer. You know, the little tray, the wrapping, whatever it comes in. Don't do that. Take it out of the package, make simple freezer meals like the ones we're gonna do here, and then you've set yourself up for success later because you got the meat when it's on sale and you got it into the freezer as a freezer meal or a meal starter, depending on what you are making. So today, we're gonna start with the MyFreezEasy Dinner Cooks Itself Party. I want you to download this. You can see it in the description below. This is 3 recipes that we're gonna double to make 6 total meals. Okay, so 6 meals in what should take about 20 to 25 minutes. These are all super fast to prep meals. The only ingredient prep we have to do today is cutting up a red onion. The rest of it is just adding ingredients into the bags that we have here and getting them into the freezer. So we're gonna see how quick and easy this is. And if you get everything on sale, you're gonna save even more. In this case, we have a pork roast, a beef roast, and a chicken, which are probably not all gonna be on sale at the same time. However, in this case, I had beef roast on sale at my store, so I'm gonna do both of these as beef roast because the pork roast and beef roast recipes are pretty much interchangeable in the MyFreezEasy web app. And then the chicken, you can just get it or you can get it at the warehouse store. You can see the last video on how the meat pricing kind of works in your area. So be sure to check that out. Looking for the best price on protein is the way to save money fastest. And so we can get 4 beef roast meals when we got it on sale. I'm gonna probably cook 1 for dinner this week, put the other 3 into the freezer. That right there alone is gonna save you probably up to 10–15% on your overall grocery bill when you can get the meat on sale and get it into the freezer. So you get into regular rotation of that, then you'll see lots of savings over time. I predict I've saved thousands of dollars over the years. Our members have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars all combined. And so if you haven't given this a try yet, I want you to download this. This link is in the comments, caption, description, whatever, below the video here. Get this downloaded and then you can print it out and work with me here in the kitchen. We do have a bundle option where we sell our bag holders. You're gonna see those in action in a minute, along with our quick start guide and whatnot. So that's an option for you. You don't have to do it. This is still free to download. This is the Dinner Cooks Itself Party. We're gonna let the slow cooker or Instant Pot, both plans are in here. There's the Instant Pot plan. Both plans are in here. It's the same set of recipes. 1 set written for the slow cooker, 1 set written for the Instant Pot, so you can let the countertop appliance do all the cooking for you while you go about your busy day. And again, it's only gonna take about 20 minutes here to prep these 6 meals for the freezer. And then I will show you also how to get them from the freezer into either of these appliances so that you can have cooking success later. All right, let's get into prepping these meals for the freezer. Okay, a quick look before I get to prepping. I have everything out here that I need. I have the plan, I have a knife and a cutting board and tongs for the meat and the chicken. I have bags that I'm gonna add labels to here. And then I have all the ingredients that I need organized and set out by recipe. So we have the root beer pulled pork over here. We have the cheesy salsa chicken, more on what happens with the cheese and the sour cream later. And then we have everything we need for the Mississippi beef roast. So I have them organized like that. It just makes it a little bit faster. I use the Freezer Cooking Day shopping list in the printable PDF to get all of that organized and lined up like that. Okay, let's get to the prep now. So look at the 2 options that are available in our PDF download, the slow cooker and the Instant Pot versions. It's the same recipes. Everything is the same that's included in the plan. The only difference is the cooking methods from getting from freezer and cooking in the Instant Pot. Each of these comes with all of these shopping lists as well as the ingredient prep and meal prep instructions. I've already shown those to you, but here they are, just a closer look at what is included there. Just look in the description and you'll see information on how to get this downloaded, completely free to download. I will email it directly to you. There is an option to order our bundle, but you don't have to. I want you to give this a try so you can see how amazing and useful these MyFreezEasy meals will be in your kitchen. Okay, I'm gonna give you a countertop view here. We're gonna put together the slow cooker version, which is essentially the same as the Instant Pot. Just the directions for cooking are gonna be different, and the directions for getting them into the Instant Pot from the freezer are gonna be different. So this is root beer pulled pork, but I'm gonna do beef because that's what was on sale for me. Either of these two, the Mississippi beef roast, you could also do with the pork, and the pork roast you could do with the beef. Both are completely interchangeable between the two recipes. The labels are part of our member program, the MyFreezEasy Method and the MyFreezEasy web app. We have options for printing labels and whatnot. They're also part of the bundle with the quick start guide. That's one of the advantages of being a MyFreezEasy member, is having all the tools that you need to get this going. Okay, per the instructions, the only ingredient prep that I have is cutting a red onion. Now, you could buy this already pre-cut. However, that is gonna be about 3 times the cost of doing this. It's just worth a minute to cut this yourself. It's really not gonna add a ton of time to your prep here, but if you're really busy or you really just don't wanna have to get that out and you can absorb a little bit of that convenience cost of buying pre-cut onions, go for it. All right, I am gonna cut this, I think, into moons, maybe like quarter moons, half moons. We'll see. We don't want it to be super tiny, but they don't need to be diced or chopped. I think we'll do half moons here. And this is gonna be added in with the root beer pulled pork just to give a little bite. This is a really, between the barbecue sauce and the root beer, it's pretty sweet. So this is giving a little tang and a little bite to the overall sauce. So I'm gonna use this one kind of larger red onion for the 2 meals. Again, we're doubling everything. You'll see that go on here. We're gonna double the root beer pulled pork, so there's 2 of those. We're gonna double the Mississippi beef roast, so there's 2 of those. We're gonna double the salsa chicken, the cheesy salsa chicken. We'll cheesify it later. So we're gonna double everything. So you're gonna see how that works. So now that I'm done with this, it's time to get out my bag holders and to get the bags going. And so I think because this is all kind of like dump and go style, I think I'm gonna go ahead and set up all 6 together. So that way you can kind of see how this assembly line style works. With the MyFreezEasy Method, a lot of our recipes are like this. We do have some baked recipes, Greek chicken bake, there's some pasta bake. So there are a couple that might involve a tray, but for the majority of the recipes, it's these easy kind of dump and go style recipes. A huge part of MyFreezEasy and the MyFreezEasy Method is efficiency. I'm a mom of 4 boys. We are super busy. So these meals, both the prep of these meals as well as getting these meals cooked for the boys, this is why I created it the way I did. I don't want you spending 8 hours in the kitchen. I don't want you doing all these crazy things, spending more time than you need to, but I also want you to be feeding your family delicious meals. So that's where this comes in real handy. Okay, I'm actually gonna rearrange these. I'm gonna do beef, 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 chicken, chicken. Did I get that right? 4 beefs and 2 chickens. So I'm just nesting my bags into these holders. It just makes it easier to get the food in and out. And you'll see here, because I have everything organized, the ingredients over here, it's gonna be super, super fast to going through. So I'm just gonna shoot this kind of live. I'll have to wash my hands at one point after I get all the meat going here, and then we'll just start adding in all the other ingredients. This is just gonna be super fast and easy. And this is exactly why I created this for you, so that you can feed your family well or less, but also doing it very efficiently. All right, so I have 2 root beer pulled pork. I'm gonna do beef, root beer beef, 2 Mississippi beef roasts, and then 2 of the chicken. That's all here. Okay, so you can kind of see now, you can literally see the assembly line. And you're gonna watch it happen here live. So the first thing I always do is put in the meat and the chicken, and then just a little pinch of salt and pepper. You can always add salt and pepper later. These are all individually wrapped, so it's just gonna take me a sec to get them undone and into the containers, the baggies. Now with the beef roast, sometimes they're awkwardly shaped, so just be careful when you're getting it in there. It'll fit just fine, but you're gonna have to kind of lay it sideways, and that's okay. It's still gonna have all the sauce in there. It depends on the roast. With the chuck roast, I usually just fat side sideways, but sometimes like a round roast, you want the fat on the top side. You can always rearrange it at the time that you're going to cook it in the slow cooker or the Instant Pot, but I like having, it's really just best to give it more flavor when the fat is kind of melting and dripping onto the rest of the ingredients in your slow cooker. So that's why we do fat side up. But in this case, these are chuck roasts, so there's not really a fat side up. All right, so I got these 4 in. All right, back with the chicken. Okay, the recipe says 4 small. I'm gonna just do 3 large because, well, maybe 3.5. We'll see. And then we'll get going with the other ingredients. If you need to trim your chicken, you can. I usually don't with slow cooker meals because it's really easy, or Instant Pot meals, it's really easy to trim after the fact. Oh, there's 7 in here. So we'll end up doing 3.5. I'm just splitting this large package. I would go 4 small or 3 large. You know what, I'm gonna trim this depending on, this is a fatter, bigger piece than normal. Normally this chicken doesn't have too much here. So let's see, 2, 3, I am gonna cut this in half. I said that and then look, it's all ending up being, okay. So I'm just gonna do half and half. Okay, I hope you can already see how efficient this is. Reposition this roast in here. Sometimes the roasts are awkwardly shaped for the bag holders, but there we go. Little salt and pepper, just a pinch into each bag. Here we go with our sort of assembly line style. You can always add more salt and pepper to taste later, but this will be fine for right now. All right, we're gonna move on to the very last page of the PDF if you are following along. This has the instructions for what we need to add to each of the baggies. And again, I've already organized them, but if you're looking for specific measurements and whatnot, this last page is what we're working on. And so the pork roast, in my case beef roast, we are going to add half of the red onion into each bag, easy peasy. And then we're gonna add 1 can of root beer, about 2 cups of barbecue sauce. I'm not gonna mix this up in advance. It's gonna mix up just fine later. This is also gonna be really full and the sauce will mix up as it's cooking in the slow cooker later. So that's fine, we'll set these to recycle. You could whisk together the root beer and the barbecue sauce in a bowl. That's just one extra step you don't really need to take in one less dish you need to worry about. So that's why we're just pouring directly in here. We're gonna let that fizz down. We all know root beer fizzes real well. You know how you can like angle it when you're pouring with an actual cup. But in this case, we are just gonna let it sit for a minute. And then I'm gonna do probably 1.5 of these jars directly onto the beef, directly onto the onion, into the barbecue, or into the root beer is fine. I'll probably use like about 1.5 of these. I'll let this really settle down while I do the other jar. This, first of all, smells great. The root beer and the barbecue, I'm kind of like, maybe I'm gonna make this for dinner tonight. Actually, I'm gonna put them in the freezer. I already have dinner plans for tonight, but, all right, so I'm gonna let that still has about probably close to half a jar, but I do wanna use this one up. Hang on. I just want to get the last bit out of here. It's spraying pretty good. So those 2 are finished. I am gonna just leave them here for a minute so I can give you a little close-up view too. So I'm gonna let that sit there before I'll show you how to like close all this up here in just a minute. Okay, the next we're gonna do is the ranch pepper and pepperoncini peppers. So this is the Mississippi roast, and you can add butter now. You can add butter at the time that you cook it. I usually just do it at the time I cook it because I always have butter. So we're looking about for 2 tablespoons or so. This is my dry mix, just the large canister. It's about 2 tablespoons. If you're using a packet, it's gonna be 1 packet of dry ranch. The cheapest way to get that is in the bundle, but the absolute cheapest way to get it is the giant canister like you just saw me using there. So if ranch is something you use or make often in your cooking or making dips and whatnot, then you definitely want to invest in a bigger jar because it'll save you long term. Okay, last is going to be the pepperoncini peppers. I use slices. I like to eat them. You can use the whole ones, but they're really hard to eat after the fact. And I like the zingy zip. Actually, here is the whole one. It would be hard to eat that, right? I want the little slices in here because then I can have a little slice with my little bite of beef. And so this pepperoncini peppers are tangy with a touch of zip. And by zip, I mean spice, but they're really not like spicy. They're just a fabulous complement to this. And the other thing that I'm gonna do is just add a touch of this brine to like a tablespoon. This is just my preference. You do not have to do this. I'm just adding a touch just to give it a little added depth of flavor. And then we'll keep the rest of those in the fridge, probably for the next time that I make this, because we make this a lot. So our root beer pulled pork, pulled beef is done. Our Mississippi beef roast is done. And now the last thing we need to do is our cheesy salsa chicken, okay? So to this, I'm just gonna add a packet of taco seasoning, in our case, gluten-free. I do make my own taco seasoning a lot. I just don't happen to have any at the moment, and I'm out of cumin. Isn't that cute? So I have these on hand for emergencies, and also because we eat gluten-free. Well, some of us do. So we're gonna add the packet directly in there, and then we are going to add a cup of red salsa. I'm just using picante because that's what my kids like. I'll use this whole jar for these 2 bags, so about half into each. And then you'll note that on the directions, it says do not add the cheese or sour cream now. We will stir that in at the time of cooking. So that's one of those things that is noted here on the bag. It is something you want to note. So when you go to make it, you know you have, you add it to your meal plan, you know you have, or you know you're gonna need sour cream on hand and cheese, shredded cheese on hand when you go to make that one. So I'm gonna give you a different view of this here in a sec, and then we'll get to sealing them up and then into how to get them into the freezer, how to get them thawed, and then into cooking. All right, a closer look at everything that we've got here. We have our roasts with the root beer, barbecue, and red onion. We have our roasts with the ranch, pepperoncini, and pepper. I'll add some butter later. And then we also have our what will be cheesy salsa chicken. This is chicken, salsa, and taco seasoning. We will add the sour cream and shredded cheese after it's done cooking. We're gonna let this cook together, let all those flavors infuse, and then add that creaminess to the sauce at the end. So that is a closer look at all that we just prepped. And now we're gonna get into how to get this into the freezer. And then I'll show you later, after it's frozen, how to get it cooked in the Instapot and in the slow cooker. Now that all of this is ready, it's time to get it into the freezer, and I'm gonna recommend flat freezing. I'm sorry my head is cut off, it's so you can see the whole counter. I'm gonna recommend flat freezing to you. And in order to do that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna carefully remove the bag from the bag holder, keeping it upright so nothing spills out. I'm gonna have you seal it about halfway, and then I want you to kind of roll and press out any air, keeping all of the sauce. This will be a little trickier when we get to the end over here. Keeping all the sauce down here, but pushing the air out so that there's very little air in here. This is gonna do a couple of things. This is gonna reduce the opportunity for the freezer burn crystals to kind of set in, and it's also going to mean that these are gonna take up as little space as possible in your freezer. All right, make sure that's nice and tight and sealed. Yeah, I usually wait for that little click, and then it kind of almost looks vacuum sealed. Like you can see that's pretty well vacuum sealed. All right, so let's do that for the next one, the other chicken. I usually go about halfway just to kind of get it started, and then just press out as much air as you can. You'll sometimes hear a little bit of a hiss, but this way, I'll show you what I can do, especially these two. These are more of a meal starter since we're gonna add ingredients later. I can like lay them like this, and then they become one layer together. That's the 2 meals together there, kind of become that one layer. And there goes the sun again. This is the rest of filming on a sunny day. All right, the roast is also gonna roast can be kind of awkward size-wise, but again, if you fold them and get as much air out of there as you can like, again, create a second layer. Actually, probably we'll use this as a foundation layer because it is fairly like squarish. I'll show you what I do. I'm gonna get all the freezer cooking tricks in this video. This one doesn't have as much sauce, but the beef will release a little liquid. If your slow cooker runs hot, you might want to add a 1/4 cup of water or beef stock if your slow cooker has a tendency to burn things. But if it doesn't, oh, did you see that? It flattens itself, and then I missed and knocked it down. Okay, so this is a lot more saucy, as you can see. So we're gonna just seal off this 1/2, and then I'm gonna kind of press the air out, roll it, and press the air up towards this corner that's open so that we don't make a giant mess. And that's pretty well sealed. You can see there, it's pretty well sealed. Okay, this one is a little trickier because it's got more liquid in it. It's so delicious. I don't think one of these is gonna make it in the freezer. I'm cooking this tomorrow. We already have curry going tonight, so this is gonna be tomorrow. And these are a little bit bigger, so I'm probably gonna put these on the top. But when it comes to saving space in your freezer, I like to do this thing called flat freezing, which you can kind of see is already happening here on the counter. So this is gonna be layer number 1. Sometimes I will put a piece of parchment or wax paper in here, or even a piece of foil to keep the bags from sticking together in the freezer. Another thing I will do is this thicker lining will also kind of act as a natural barrier. So as long as that thick lining is between the 2 layers, that'll help. So then you can stack like this, and just create kind of this square area in your freezer of freezer meals. And then these two are a little trickier. I actually probably will stand these up and freeze them like this because they are saucier. You could lay them across here, but you'd have to balance them kind of carefully. And again, I would fold this under here just to keep the bags from sticking. But you can see that flat freezing right there. It really doesn't take up a lot of space. And this is 6 meals worth, right? So there is that space saving hack for you right there. Our 6 meals prep, that was fast. You can do that, right? Easy. I've got the download for you. Don't forget to grab that. You should see it in the description down below. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of what happens next, and then I will show you with a couple of videos in the next couple days after these have frozen and when we are going to add them to our meal plan. So from here, I'm gonna take them like this and put them into the freezer. They'll be frozen by tomorrow morning. That is perfect. You can always set one aside or even 2, one for tonight, one for tomorrow night, freeze the other 4, however it works in your meal plan. Once they are frozen, then you can use them anytime you need them. I typically make 2 to 3 of these freezer meals a week. I've been on a regular, like making 10 or 12 of these meals a month kind of cycle for years, and it has saved me thousands of dollars. And so I wanted to show you how this works. I've done this on live stream many times before, but I don't think I've done a proper YouTube video, which is why we are doing this here this week. So check this out, download the PDF, give this a try in your kitchen if you love it. We have many more, 1,000 recipes in our database that you can use to create the perfect freezer meal plan for you and your family. We're gonna get these into the freezer, and then in the next couple of days, I will show you how to quick thaw these and get them into the slow cooker and cooking in the Instant Pot, depending on how it works out for your schedule. The slow cooker, you would cook it from the morning on low for 8 hours. The Instant Pot, you would probably cook it in the afternoon. For the beef roast, you're gonna need to budget about an hour of cooking time. For the chicken, about 30 minutes of cooking time. So you can just use these kind of interchangeably almost. It's the same recipe, just the way you cook it in the afternoon is different. So we're gonna break all of that down, slow cooker, and then I'll show you how to do the Instant Pot here in the next couple days. So I'll see you in the future, I guess. All right, see you then. Good morning, friends. I'm up, maybe awake. Got the kids out the door, the laundry going, and now I'm gonna start the slow cooker. I do this a little bit differently. I'm gonna teach you how to do it. I'm gonna show you. But first I've got to go get the slow cooker, and I'll probably close that laundry room door because that's really loud. Okay, be right back. Okay, I got my slow cooker. I started this thing a couple years ago. I keep my slow cooker and Instant Pot over here so I can leave them out on the counter. But for today, for filming, I'm gonna move it over here and cook over here. But I just cook them over there. They're out of the way. Taking care of cooking dinner as we're talking about here. So I'm gonna now grab, I think, one of the beef roasts. We'll see what I grab from the freezer, and then I'm gonna show you how to quick thaw it and get it started in the slow cooker. I got the laundry going, but still got to get the dishes going. I'll do that here when I'm done with the slow cooker. All right, I decided I'm gonna cook both of the Mississippi beef roasts together. We're gonna slow cook those on low for 8 hours. The reason I'm gonna do this is because I wanna have meat for tonight's dinner, and then I'm gonna shred the rest to make sandwiches for lunch probably this weekend, possibly tomorrow. We'll see how the menu plays out. But I'm gonna go ahead and put these, this is what we call quick thawing. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in a wide bowl. This is one of the widest bowls I have, and I'm gonna fill it up with just room temperature water. And then we're just gonna let these sit in the sink for probably about 5 minutes. It doesn't take much longer than that to thaw the edges and get the food to separate from the baggie. No matter what container you're using, you can do this. If I'm using a square dish, I'll nest it in a larger rectangular dish and do water from the bottom and then the air from the top. I usually fill it up pretty high. That's why I do it in the sink. And then from here, we're gonna let these sit for a couple of minutes, and then I will show you how to get them into the slow cooker and get it started. I recommend only leaving them in the sink for about 5 minutes. One, because that's enough time for it to separate from the bag, but also it's a food safety issue. If you are gonna leave frozen food like this soaking in a bowl of water for more than 10 minutes, you need to take the bowl of water and the food and keep it in the fridge. It will still thaw quickly in the fridge in the water, but you just need to make sure to keep the food cold enough. But because we're gonna be slow cooking this from frozen, it only needs about 5 minutes here in the sink in this water. So just wanted to share that quick food safety tip with you. So it's been a couple of minutes that the beef has been soaking in its baggie and it's ready to be transferred into the soaker. So I'm gonna first drain out the water from the bowl. Then I am going to open up the bag and loosen up the ingredients and then transfer everything upside down into the slow cooker. And because I'm going to be doing 2 beef roasts here, I'm just going to sort of nestle them next to each other so they fit into the base of the slow cooker, and then we will get it turned on. All right, here we have it. Our 2 beef roasts nestled together in here with that ranch, pepperoncini, and pepper. You see how easy that was? A couple minutes in a quick thaw water bath, transfer frozen in here, and then the next food safety rule that I want to share with you is you need to cook this on low for 8 hours. That gives the meat plenty of time to defrost and then cook in the slow cooker. All right, there it goes. A reminder about our 2 food safety rules. When you're quick thawing, don't leave it in the bowl of water on the counter or in the sink for more than 10 minutes. If you need to, then go ahead and transfer it into the fridge to thaw out. And second is, if you are cooking from frozen like we are here, you need to slow cook on low for at least 8 hours. Okay, slow cooker is going, which I'm so glad because it's gonna be a real busy day. There is one last thing I need to show you, which is how we do a freezer meal into the Instant Pot, which I will show you that here next. Okay, my friend, I am back, and now we're going to cook the cheesy salsa chicken in the Instant Pot. So I'm doing my quick thaw again in the sink. Reminder that if you are quick thawing for any more than 10 minutes or so, you need to put the whole bowl of water and meat into the fridge so that it stays at a nice, cool, safe temperature. Here in a couple minutes, I will get this transferred into the Instant Pot, get it cooking, and then of course I will show you how to add the cream cheese and everything else at the end of the Instant Pot cooking cycle. Okay. This chicken and salsa sauce has been thawing for 10 minutes or so, long enough to not need to put it in the fridge, or maybe that's short enough to not put it in the fridge. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna turn it over into the Instant Pot, and then I usually just kind of squeeze out as much sauce as I can. And then we have to do one important thing before we can turn this on. Before you can cook a freezer meal in the Instant Pot, before you can cook any meal in the Instant Pot, you have to add at least 1 cup of liquid, and that is so that the device can use its fancy technology to read what is in here and how it needs to be cooked. So while there is a little bit of liquid in the meal that is frozen here, and mainly in the form of the salsa that we added, there's not enough liquid for it to read. And so I am just going to pour in 1 cup of warm or hot water. Regular water works too, but hot makes the come to pressure cycle go a little faster. And then from here, we can put the lid on and cook. There is a slight time variation. If you are cooking an Instant Pot meal that's just the chicken, the salsa, the taco seasoning, without having frozen it, you can cook on manual high pressure mode for 15 or 16 minutes to cook the chicken through. I generally add about 1/3 of the cooking time. So in that case, well, let's see. How do we do math here? 1/2 of the cooking time. So 15 divided by 2 is 8, plus 3 is 23 to 24. So I generally will add 1/2. So you make it 2/3 longer. Is that right? I can't do math. I used to be really good at math. Anyways, I am going to cook this because it is frozen, mostly frozen, almost completely frozen. We only thawed it for a few minutes in that water. I am gonna cook this on high pressure mode. I'm just gonna round it up to 25 minutes. So I'm gonna do manual, and then I'm gonna come down, doing this upside down backwards, sorry, to 25 minutes. We will just let this kick on, and then I will let it naturally release, which should take about 10 more minutes. So within an hour, this chicken will be able to be ready for you to use from the time you took it out of the freezer, thaw for 10 minutes, cook for 25 minutes, plus come to pressure and natural release. A grand total of 1 hour completely hands off. This is why I say dinner cooks itself, because it's going to cook itself right in here while you can go about the busy part of your afternoon doing everything else that you need to do. So we'll be back in a little bit and I will show you how to add in the cream cheese and the cheese, mix it all together, and then you can serve it however you like for your dinner. So here we go, ready and cooked. Just gonna nest that right there. If you didn't know you could do that, you can do that right there. So our chicken is cooked and you can see the salsa there. I am just gonna go ahead and just use some tongs and just break this up into the sauce. And when I'm done with that, I will be right back to get the cream cheese and cheese. Be careful, this steam is very hot. Might let it cool down a little bit, but get the cream cheese and cheese in here. Also, we don't want it too cool because we need this to melt, the cream cheese and the cheese, to make our cheesy salsa chicken. So let me break this up and I will be right back. All right, chicken is shredded. You can see that lovely sauce, which we are going to cheesify now. We're gonna start with shredded cheese, about a cup or so. Next, we're gonna add in cream cheese. You could do a half a block or a whole block, depending on how thick and cheesy that you want it. Put that off of there. Let's get this mixed together. The cheese is already melted, even in just that few seconds it was sitting in there, but it'll take a little bit to get this cream cheese to incorporate, and you can already see the color change in that sauce. It's getting to be that lighter orange color, super delicious. The cream cheese also acts as a thickener to that sauce. The salsa and the taco seasoning plus the chicken all cooked together. Oh, look at how gorgeous this looks. Okay, let me finish mixing this up and then I will do a quick recap and tell you more about where to find more information about these recipes, this dinner cooks itself party plan, so that you can get these recipes made for your freezer and these dinners cooked for your family. All right, a touch of salt and pepper to however you like it. You could use this chicken on top of nachos, in a burrito. You could even use it in enchiladas. I'm trying to keep it from steaming up. You could use it on top of a tostada, just a street taco with corn tortillas, a regular taco with your favorite taco toppings, guacamole, or slices of avocado, or pico de gallo. Let's see, enchiladas, chimichangas, burritos, tortillas, tostadas, nachos. Basically, those are great options. You could also just serve it over some brown rice with some veggies or salad or fruit or whatever you like. Keep it simple in that way. But this is such a creamy, delicious chicken salsa that you can enjoy with your family. All right, my friend, there you have it. How to prep these meals for the freezer, how to cook them in the slow cooker, how to cook them in the Instant Pot. We also talked about quick thawing. Get these made in your kitchen today. The free download is somewhere around this video, probably down in the description. Just scroll down, tap on that RSVP for my dinner cooks itself party, and you can make these recipes just like you've seen me do here. Get them into your freezer, get them added into your meal plan. You just need these super easy options. They're not only affordable, but they are easy, and I want you to make the most of this. So get that Dinner Cooks Itself PDF downloaded, print it off, save to your phone or iPad, doesn't matter however you're gonna use it, just get it downloaded, get these meals prepped and into your freezer so you can have some really easy and delicious MyFreezEasy meals for your busy weeknight dinners.